Hello there, guys. We have a brand new intro for the podcast, and I want you to see it in just a minute. Welcome to the Mario Matter, your favorite Nintendo podcast of all times, where we talk about the Nintendo news, we talk about the Nintendo topics. So we are fresh off of the Game Awards. Just happened last night as of recording. It happened 2 days ago. As you're seeing this every Saturday, we post this podcast. We're off of the Game Awards. We have Nintendo canceling things. We have Nintendo news. So much news, and at the tail end of all that, we answer your questions. It is a good time to note, we are also on Apple Podcasts, we're on Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, if you want to listen to that. I don't know anyone who uses iHeartRadio. The last time that I heard that name was from Disney Infinity on the little, radio machine. We're on YouTube, obviously. That's where the video podcast lies, so if you want to watch there, good for you. But guys, if you're a Nintendo fan, you found your new home. And this is about where the intro would roll in. I would say, hey, let's get to the Nintendo news to kick off the entire podcast. But guys, we have a brand new intro, and I'm going to roll it right now before we get to the news segment of this podcast. And I'm really happy with it, and I want to know what you all think. So without further ado, let's get to the Nintendo News Headlines segment.
Welcome to the Mario Matter, the #1 Nintendo podcast.
Okay, I really want to talk about it. So, you might think that's the coolest thing ever. I want to talk to you about who is voicing that intro. You might think it's just some random guy on some website voicing the intro. You might have recognized it. I don't know. Very small percentage probably actually, recognize who that was. That is a man named Bruce Buffer. He pretty much just does UFC, which is like a fighting organization, like a cage fighting organization. He announces the names. So if I was fighting, he would say, Swizzle, he just announces the fighters' names, and I figured him voicing the Mario Matter intro, because I love the UFC, is just a perfect fit. So I have him saying that we are the official or unofficial #1 Nintendo podcast. We are in my heart, so I had him say that. Statistics might not back us up, but that's okay. Definitely one day we will get there. Not maybe, we will get there. But anyways, guys, this is the Nintendo News Headline segment. And for those wondering, I did not forget, we have something to do. We have a Nintendo Advent Calendar to open, but this is the Nintendo News Headline segment where we go through all Nintendo news from the past 7 days. We post this podcast every single Saturday, and so that would bring us to last Saturday. Today, as of posting, is the 9th of December, so that brings us back to the 2nd of December. That is last Saturday. So we go back from December 2nd to the 9th and go through all the news in that entire week. But before we do that, guys, it is December. If you do not know, maybe you don't know. Maybe it's, the 9th of December and you're like, oh man, it's January. No. So we have a Nintendo Advent Calendar here, okay? Now what this is every single day I've been opening up a box in this Advent Calendar. And in each box has a brand new either Mario figure, Mario something in there. Whether it's for example, the other day I got this PAL block. It could be a PAL block, a bullet bill, some sort of Mario figure of some sort is in here. So today, as of recording, is the 8th. So as of recording, we're going to open up, ooh, dang, look, this box for the 8th of December, it's a tall one. So we're going to get probably some sort of figure here. All right, let's go ahead and open up. Oh, geez, it's stuck. It's reverse stuck. I have to see. Can I get this open? Oh, I got it open. And what is it? It's a freaking blue Yoshi. Okay. He's tied in there. So I have to cut him. Do I want to cut him on the podcast? I don't think that I can do it in a timely manner. So I'll just show you. Sorry. I hit the microphone. There's a blue Yoshi inside of there. I won't take him out. I have to cut something in there to get him out. That's time consuming. But there's a blue Yoshi. Awesome sauce for the 8th of December. That is the Advent Calendar. More to do tomorrow, and if you want it, it's on Amazon. It's like $50 because Christmas time. People will spend any amount of money for some Advent calendars. It's expensive. If you want it, it's on Amazon. Bam! There we go. So now, guys, what you came here for is the Nintendo news. Let's go ahead. Let's run through the news. Once again, we begin on the 2nd of December. We're actually going to skip over the 3rd of December because there wasn't much news. Sunday is probably the worst day for news. Nothing really drops on Sunday, so Let's go through. December 2nd, we have one piece of news that I actually already took advantage of, and that is a free December 2023 Pikmin 4 wallpaper is now available on my Nintendo. Now, this is only 0 platinum points. I mean, it's totally free. So, as we know, Pikmin 4, great game. It's actually, I won't say that. It's in my top 3 Switch games of all time. Pikmin 4 is awesome. And so for the past 5 months, Nintendo has been releasing Pikmin 4 calendars for the rest of this year, and the December one is the final one. So if you've actually not used one of these Pikmin 4 calendars, I would recommend that you download this one, because this is your last chance to use a Pikmin 4 calendar in 2023. So I'll leave the link down below. If you look in the description of this podcast, you will see one link that says sources and links. And if you click that, it'll take you to a large, paste bin where I have all of my sources cited and all my links right there. So description, sources, and links, and then look for the one that says December 2nd, free Pikmin 4 wallpaper. Click the link, and then it'll take you right to where you can download the wallpaper. You will need a Nintendo account, which shouldn't be a problem. If you have a Switch, you have a Nintendo account. Sorry, took me a second. You have an account if you have a Switch, and that's all you need to sign in, redeem it. 0 platinum points, once again, totally free, and use it. Now, if you're wondering, I won't put it on screen because, normally if you redeem something on my Nintendo and you put it on the screen, they don't like that because you can just screenshot it and not have to, even go and redeem it, even though it's free. So I don't want any problems, but basically it's a yellow Pikmin, a white Pikmin, purple Pikmin, blue, red Pikmin on some red flowers, red leaves. I don't know what I'm looking at. They're carrying pine cones and stuff. It's a cool little December wallpaper. I like it, and I have it on right now. So go get it. You can get it for mobile and PC. I've been talking for way too long about Pikmin carrying pine cones on a freaking calendar wallpaper. Sorry, let's move on. Here's some spice. Here's some actual spice for you. Guys, moving on to December 4th, we have Donkey Kong Country. No, it's not a brand new game, unfortunately, but we have Donkey Kong Country at Super Nintendo World in Universal Studios Japan, opening in spring of 2024. So we knew about this Donkey Kong Country expansion to the Super Nintendo World happening. We didn't know exactly when. We knew next year. Now we know it is next spring. So you know what? I'm going to take a buckshot. I'm going to guess this opens on, spring is March 20th. I'm going to guess this opens on April. What's a Friday? I don't know if it'll actually be it'll be a Monday or something. My guess for the opening date is going to be April 15th. Sounds about right. Well, is that Easter? No, Easter's on a Sunday. I'm stupid, guys. Don't even listen to me. But I think it'll open in April. Now, this Donkey Kong expansion to the theme park, what is this and why should you care? It is in Japan, which is quite the hike. If you're there, then cool beans. If you're going there, also cool beans. This is in Japan. I believe it'll also come to California eventually. I think so. And so we actually have video footage that I can put on the screen this time. And this info comes from Genki Japan on Twitter. Is it Genki? Genki? It's one of those. And they have linked, the footage isn't from them, but the footage that I'm playing on screen for our video listeners just kind of shows, it's an animated video, but it shows what the theme park will actually look like. And in that video, you can actually see the Donkey Kong Minecart roller coaster, which is a mini roller coaster coming to Super Nintendo World in Japan. I say mini roller coaster because it's not, you aren't going upside down. It's not crazy fast, I don't believe. So I call it mini, more kiddie-like, I would say. You can see that in the video, once again, animated. But it gives you a good idea of what it'll be like. And also, what we do have for sure is photos of the power-up bands for this expansion theme park. So when you go to Super Nintendo World, you will have you don't need to buy it, I don't think, but you can buy a power-up band. One in Mario style, Luigi style, Peach style, and you wear it in the theme park, and you can interact with certain things. If there's a question block, you can hit it, and you get coins on your like power-up band, and then you can use that in the app. It's a smart little banned, right? So now there's Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong variations of it that will be available once the Donkey Kong Country expansion opens up at Super Nintendo World Japan. So I haven't even been to freaking Super Nintendo World. I'm waiting for the one in Orlando to open up because I don't have a scheduled trip to California, which is the closest one to me. And I just don't feel like making the trip. I don't have other things. Like if I booked a flight to California, it would be solely for Super Nintendo World. I don't have other events to go to there. So it would just be for that. Now maybe I can make my way. I could go when there is something happening, but I have nothing on my radar, so I'm just coasting back. My brother went. He was in Japan, so he went. I haven't gone yet, so I'm gonna wait until 2025 for the Orlando one, and I still won't have much to do in Orlando. But what I can do is just book like a 3-way trip. If I go to Orlando purely for Super Nintendo World, I can also go for Disney World and Legoland. 3-way, theme park bonanza. So that's what I'm gonna do. But because I'm waiting so long, I want to go on launch day for the Orlando one. That'll be fun. Anyways, whatever happens, I want to go eventually. So, now we move to December 5th. This was that was a Tuesday, right? Yeah, it was a Tuesday, guys. What did you do on December 5th? Maybe you were playing some Pokemon Unite? Because we have news on that. Guys, Pokemon Unite has been updated to version 1.13.1.2. A little long, but I'll accept it. Now, I know that you don't want to hear, they fixed this, they fixed that, they fixed this. It's boring, right? So I'm going to give you the news. There's a lot of things that actually were fixed. They were bug fixes, mini fixes, and they also added a few small things too. But here's all the big news that you need to know about, and I'm going to read some descriptions from the Pokemon website, so then I give you the most accurate information that I can. First up, not much, explanation here. Meowscarada has released as a character in Pokemon Unite. That is a Pokemon, of course, that you can now use in the game. Buy the license, get Meowscarada. I personally won't be doing that, but Meowscarada is a Meowscarada, so do as you please. Also, here's what I actually might take part in. Pokemon Unite, Snowball Battles return. Here we go. In a special type of battle, turn KO'd Pokemon into Snowman and defeat Delibird, scattered around the map to receive a present containing a random one-time battle item that replaces your current item. Use it to switch up your strategy and keep the opposing team on their toes. Think of it as the gift that keeps on giving. Ends December 30th. So, you have the entire holiday season apart from New Year's Eve to play this Snowball Battle event. Also, we have prize machine events return. You can log in between December 7th, which is past now, and January 8th next year to receive 10 holiday balls every day at no cost, up to a maximum of 100. Holiday balls can be used in the prize machine for a chance to obtain a wide range of fantastic gifts, including holoware. You can only use holiday balls on designated collections on the same day you obtain them, as they will be reset the day after you obtain them. Pretty strict there. But we have new prizes coming back, guys. And then finally, also not much explanation needed here, Metagross is coming soon to Pokemon Unite. So, who knows? That could be the next thing that we tell you about on the show. There we go. We have some Pokemon Unite stuff. Now we have, my favorite piece of news. No. Guys, I hate this piece of news. But I'm going to tell you because it's very important. So, guys, Nintendo Switch has been updated to version 17.0.1, okay? Big news. They've added features. No, of course not. So, there has been a few things changed with version 17.0.1. Normally, when they update the Switch, the only information that we have is general system stability improvements to enhance the user's experience. And we do have that here, but they also, with this update, did fix one thing that is bigger than all of that. Resolved an issue with local communication for some software So, if you were trying to play Animal Crossing New Horizons or something like that, and you try to use local communication, you might have got a fat error. I don't know if it happened with Animal Crossing, I'm just using some example, but some software with local communication was bugging. Is that like what the kids say? You bugging. That's terrible. So something was bugging, and they fixed it. However, let's head back to that general system stability improvements patch note. We have a friend that doesn't know that I exist. Oatmeal Dome, at Oatmeal Dome on Twitter, is somebody that when these updates come out, they seem to dive into the updates and see what was actually changed. So, Oatmeal Dome also adds that controller input, crash reporter, and handheld mode switching, so those three things, were changed with the update, and those likely all had bugs that were fixed. So once again, controller input, crash reporter, which is like when you crash and it like reports. It's pretty in the name, and docked/handheld mode switching might have had some bugs that were changed around, and that all took place in the update here, but not much to write home about. Nothing really happened in this update. We want themes. Please start the chant. I want Switch themes, bro. Speaking of Switch themes, did Nintendo ever release, because this is not in my news today, did they ever release the Animal Crossing December icons? It's not in my news. I don't think that they did yet. Yeah, that kind of sucks. That sucks. All right. Anyways, be on the lookout, because probably in the next week they'll release some Animal Crossing New Horizons December icons to download. So keep a lookout. Our next podcast is next Saturday, so I might not be able to tell you in time, but if it happens this week, I'll tell you next Saturday. Now, December 6th, guys, we actually got a piece of news that like nobody was expecting, and it was kind of odd, kind of out of the blue, but also one that nobody can even complain about, because it's awesome. It's freaking awesome. New spirits are coming to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate in January. Now, I thought the game was dead. I thought it was over. I thought it was reps, but no, we got new spirits coming to the game. We don't have much information on this. All we know is I believe it was Masahiro Sakurai, the mastermind behind all the Smash Bros. Games, said it on Twitter. I think of all places. I think there was a tweet. It got spread around, and now it's being discussed on the #1 Nintendo podcast unofficially. But yeah, so we have more spirits, another, I guess, update, so to speak, coming to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate on Nintendo Switch in January. Once we have a date, once we have more info, we will let you know. But speaking of Super Smash Bros. And letting you know things and dates and things like that, we have the Super Smash Bros. Sora amiibo, previously revealed in a Nintendo Direct. We have the release date for this boy. He releases on February 16th, 2024. The amiibo for Sora, February 16th, 2024. Now, that is the exact same day as Mario vs. Donkey Kong releases, and we know that, Nintendo likes to dual release amiibo with games. For example, WarioWare Move It released, and that also released with the Zelda and Ganondorf amiibo. They like to do them in one big smash, right? Pikmin 4 released, the Xenoblade Chronicles amiibo released. They like to do it in one conjunction, and no difference here. February 16th, 2024. Now, if you do want to buy the Sora amiibo, you're probably going to have to place a pre-order or get lucky months later. If you want to place a pre-order, I don't have all the links for you, because I can give you a GameStop link, I can give you a Best Buy link, but chances are, by the time that I send them to you or put them in the description or give them to you or whatever I do, they'll probably be out of stock. So your best bet to get pretty much anything that has to be pre-ordered is follow some Twitter accounts that'll tweet it out the second that it happens. So Wario64 on Twitter, Nintendeal on Twitter, Amiibo Alerts on Twitter, or X, sorry, not Twitter. Follow them and turn on their notifications, because then once a Sora amiibo comes back in stock, they'll be like, Sora at GameStop, go buy it. That's what they do. So I can't give you the links. I'm not one of the guys that tweets it out right away, but follow them because they do. There you go, Sora amiibo. If you're asking me, I'm not buying it just because I don't even have the freaking Sora. He's DLC, right? I don't have the freaking Smash DLC, so I'm not going to buy it. But kudos to you. Now, guys, this is up my alley, this one. December 6th still, we have Nintendo releasing holiday merchandise. Now, this is all that we have so far. They might drop tittlebits. Is that even a word? Tittlebits, later on through the month. But as of right now, we have 3 holiday physical items that you can purchase from Nintendo or the Nintendo New York store, I believe. We have some items here from Nintendo to celebrate the holidays. Now, what are they? What the heck are they? Pricey. That's what they are. But I'll tell you, we have one. The first item here is a Legend of Zelda Holiday Hyrule mug. Okay. We like mugs. Mugs are cool. You can get a decent mug for $12. Guys, the Hyrule mug is $40. That's insane! Dude, that's almost the price of the actual game. That's crazy. And then if you thought that was bad, there is a Legend of Zelda holiday sweater and a Super Mario holiday sweater, both 2023 edition. Never seen before, I don't believe. Both for $64.99. $65 separately. Guys, that sweater, the freaking Mario one, costs more than Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Do you realize what I'm saying? What's better? Wear the sweater for 12 hours one day on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, or buy Mario Wonder and get like 12 hours of fun? What's better? I vote Mario Wonder. That's a freaking pricey sweater. I'm wearing this. I'm wearing a Drake for all the dogs sweatshirt right now. It's the dog on the cover art transformed into a reindeer. This actually was pretty pricey. But normally, like when I buy Christmas sweatshirts, I don't spend more than like $30. I bought my Tom Nook Christmas sweatshirt for $30. Or $25 from GameStop, because it was right after the holiday season, so like all the sweaters were on sale. I bought my Tom Nook for like $20. No one's paying $65 for a sweater. Well, somebody will, but it ain't gonna be me. I'll tell you that much. And then I have a Nintendo holiday sweater that was pretty pricey from them, but it was a gift. I didn't buy that. So, moral of the story, these things are cool, but I ain't buying those. Those are some pricey things, man, because Nintendo knows that it's the holiday season, New York is crowded because, they're going to have stock in the New York store. New York, holiday season. Someone's going to buy them. Somebody's going to buy like 5. I mean, like, they're going to sell, so they can just do whatever they want. It ain't going to be me. It shouldn't be you. But if you're that Christmas joy kind of person, maybe it's for you. Now, moving on to December 7th. Speaking of the number 7, guys, what is 7 days often referred to? A week, right? A week. That's a long time. Like, in 1 week from now, we'll have our next podcast posted, So, from now until our next podcast episode gets posted, you can have Switch Online. Switch Online can be yours for totally free until our next podcast drops. So, what does that mean? You can get a free 7-day trial of Nintendo Switch Online with code MSwizzle. No, I'm kidding. I don't have a code. But basically, I'm not joking. There's no catch to this. If you go to the link in the description, go to these sources and links, big link right there, and then go to where in that link it says Switch Online 7-day free trial. Click the link, sign in with your Nintendo account, and hit redeem. It's on My Nintendo. If you don't have Switch Online, 7-day free trial. It's not the expansion pack version, I don't think, because that's, a big 7-day free trial. But you do get access to, obviously, online servers. You get access to, NES, SNES, Game Boy games. If you don't have Switch Online, why the heck not? Why not? So, link down below to go and redeem it. Go do it. Not much to explain. I'm sure that most of you have Switch Online. There's some that don't, which I understand. I'm just saying, like, if you're watching a Nintendo podcast, you've probably tinkered with some online servers. So I would assume that you have it. But in case you don't, if you're a youngster out there who wants some Switch Online to play with your crush on Animal Crossing New Horizons, feel free. Feel absolutely free. Other than that, we have Splatoon 3 updated to version 6.0.1. Now, guys, with Splatoon 3 updates, they're all over the place, and I say it every single time. There's many changes here and there, and I can't read them all to you. They're way too long. If I read you every single one, there wouldn't be a next week's podcast. I'd be talking the entire week. This next week straight, I'd be telling you about the tiny changes in the Splatoon 3 update. But this is different. We got a bunch of changes in this update. But it's not like if I did read all of these, I'd be here for like an hour, as opposed to one whole week. Okay, so I'm not going to tell you what changed in this update, because it's all just fixes. Every single patch note begins with fix an issue. So it's just fixing things that you probably never even encountered, fixing problems that you never even heard of. So I don't want to stall on that, but if you do want to see it, I'll leave the link down below. It's just not worth vocal time to read every single thing that you never even heard happened. So I'll leave the link down below. But basically, things were fixed, and it seems like they didn't even add anything. So obviously they shouldn't have to add things. It's 6.0.1. The big update would have been 6.0 when they add things. I'm just saying there's nothing to even write home about. So I'm gonna skip that, but 6.0.1 it is. Now, guys, this was a stupid drop. I'm not going to lie. This drop was stupid. Why even do this? Why? Okay, so, guys, 3 new N64 games have been added to Switch Online. Am I in favor of this? Yes, especially the games that were released. Am I in favor of the timing? Kind of. So this dropped I think it was right before the Game Awards, either right before the Game Awards or during the Game Awards. It was somewhere around there. They just dropped 3 new N64 games. I believe it was. It was definitely within 2-3 hours of the Game Awards. That's just a weird drop. No one's focused on looking at their N64 games during the Game Awards, which we'll talk about later. I don't know. It was just weird. But here are the 3 games that have been added to N64 Nintendo Switch Online. 1080 Snowboarding, which sounds like a ball. I'm going to play that, not on the Switch because I don't have the expansion pack, but somehow I'm going to play that. Harvest Moon 64. Harvest Moon is a jolly time. And Jet Force Gemini. Go play the games. Tell me what you think. I want to play them. I don't have Switch Online expansion pack. Let me know what you think. But those were all dropped. They are all available now. No, oh yeah, coming soon. No, they're all out now. So go and get them, okay? Go get them. Now, guys, this is a relatively serious topic, and we don't get into serious stuff very often on this podcast. We like to keep things lighthearted, and I won't stay on this for too long because I like to keep it lighthearted, But Nintendo Live Tokyo 2024 has been canceled. So this was going to take place in Japan. We know what this is. We know what a Nintendo Live is. They had one in Seattle just a few months ago. Really, it was in September, where they were showing off Mario Wonder. They held tournaments, things like that. And so they were going to do this again in Tokyo, Japan. And they had to pull it. They were going to have tournaments. They were going to have, of course, all the normal activities, and maybe even, I don't know if there was a concert scheduled, but tournaments, activities, things of that nature. They had to cancel it because people were sending threats to the employees of Nintendo and also spectators of the Splatoon 3 tournament. And, normally this is a sad thing, and it is a sad thing. That sucks, and obviously you don't want that kind of behavior, but I do really think that Nintendo made the right choice, obviously for everyone's safety, but also to kind of be you're not going to threaten us, and we're still gonna put on a show for you. That's just not gonna happen. So I like that they made that decision to pull it. Obviously for everyone's safety, but also to be like, hey, stop or we're going to pull the show. And they did. Big move and also the correct move from Nintendo. But I saw this quote when reading a Go Nintendo article. And this quote is from Masahiro Sakurai talking about the entire thing. This is what Masahiro Sakurai, the man who makes the Smash Bros. Games, had to say about the cancellation of the event. The cancellation of Nintendo Live Tokyo has consequently led to the cancellation of the planned Super Smash Bros. Tournament. Yes, there was going to be a Smash tournament there. It's disheartening to learn that the reason for this cancellation is due to threats. This situation is not only a disappointment for fans who were eagerly looking forward to the event, but also deeply disheartening when considering the event organizers and all those who had meticulously planned and prepared various aspects of the event. The dampening of spirits is understandable in light of these developments. It just sucks and not something that, you want to hear or see, but anyways, that's what happened, and they're going to reschedule everything, and it'll all be fun and games again, and hopefully people will learn a lesson. You can't threaten Nintendo or they're going to pull the event. I don't know excuse my harshness, but I don't know how stupid you can be. All right. Anyways, now back to lighthearted, guys. It's like 16 days until Christmas. Oh my gosh, it's fun times, guys. Lighthearted, the Mario matter. Oh, guys, here we go. We have some Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet news here, okay? We have some news. We have a Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet festive mass outbreak event happening now. And I'm going to read to you what this is, because when I read it, I didn't know what it was, and I probably should know what it is, but I never actually beat Pokemon Violet because I was like, you know what, let's wait for a good performance graphics patch to come out, and it never really did, so, I'm going to get to it when I get to it. But we have an event going on, and this event makes me think that I probably should go back and play the game. Mass outbreaks of Flabébé are appearing throughout Paldea, and mass outbreaks of Litwick are appearing throughout Kitakami. After the release of the Hidden Treasure of Area Zero Part 2, the Indigo Disc, on Thursday, December 14th, mass outbreaks of Milcery will be appearing throughout Blueberry Academy's terrarium. It seems shiny Pokemon are more likely to appear in these special mass outbreaks, so don't miss your chance to find one. So, we're just getting a bunch of mass outbreaks, more Pokemon to catch of these certain Pokemon, easier to find, once again, shiny Pokemon. If that's a goal of yours, log on, I guess. Get some Pokeballs, throw them out, beat them up, do it all. Pokemon Scarlet, Pokemon Violet, available now, and this entire event ends December 21st, which is a Thursday, and, at that point, you're getting ready for Christmas or whatever holiday you celebrate. You're not playing Pokemon. Do you know what you're playing on the 21st of December? You're playing either Animal Crossing, playing the, making snowmen, or you're playing We Wish You a Merry Christmas for the Nintendo Wii shovelware game. That's what you're doing on the 21st. You ain't playing Pokemon. Or maybe you are. I don't know. Now, guys, we have one more piece of Pokemon news. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, Dialga, and Palkia. Guys, I can't pronounce Pokemon. Tera Raid battle happening now. So if you do not know what a Tera Raid is, basically, imagine me and you and 3 other friends, or like 2 other friends, maybe. We're all in a group, and we're walking to go face this gigantic, powerful Pokemon. That's what this is. You're fighting a strong Pokemon, a very, very strong Pokemon, with like 3 other friends, is what a Tera Raid battle is. Now, this event is happening now, and it ends also Thursday, December 21st. And this is a 5-star Tera Raid, which is not the hardest that it can get, but also a pretty hard Tera Raid. It's not a 1-star. It's a pretty hard Tera Raid. So make sure that your friends are not noobs before you go into this and actually have decent Pokemon to fight the Pokemon with. Pokemon fighting more Pokemon. Bring your A game to this one. Once again, ends December 21st, not 31st, Thursday. There you go. Now, guys, today as a recording is December 8th. I didn't find much news for December 8th. Obviously, we are coming off of the Game Awards, which I'll discuss later on as a bigger segment. And when I say later on, I mean like 2 minutes. But I'm just looking for news that came out today. There really wasn't much at all. If there was any, I would tell you. But all the news that we have is talked about in 2 minutes on our next segment of the podcast, which is where we discuss the Game Awards. Yeah, we didn't really get any Nintendo news today as of afternoon. Yeah, so we're gonna skip the 8th of December. It is my uncle's birthday, so we're going to dinner. I'm getting freaking pizza later, because why not? There is one thing I guess that we can say. I should do this on a video. Nintendo offers a step-by-step guide for Pikmin origami from Go Nintendo. I found this in my Twitter notifications. What is this? Nintendo puts out a tutorial for how to make a Pikmin origami figure. Okay, I haven't watched that, but that sounds freaking awesome. Okay, yo, that's sick. All right, I'm going to link this down below. Go and create this Pikmin origami thing, and then once you do, send it to me. Join my Discord server, link down below, or like Twitter DM it, or something. And if you do that, you are my king or queen. Dude, that's sick. All right, anyways, that is it for the Nintendo news headline segment. Let's go ahead, let's get to my thoughts on the Game Awards and recapping the Nintendo section of the Game Awards. And at the tail end of that, after that all that's done, we will answer the questions that you have asked me, these spicy questions that you have asked me. Let's go ahead, let's get to the Game Awards talk. Now, if you do not know what the Game Awards is, it's essentially in the name. It's like, well, let's put it this way. If you don't know what the Game Awards is, you're probably young enough to know what Kids' Choice Awards is from freaking Nickelodeon. It's that, but for video games. All right, so you go online, you vote, and games win awards, and it's cool to watch and it's cool to see. However, it's kind of annoying to watch because you either are seeing things that you don't care about, or you're stuck watching game trailers for like half an hour straight. It takes a while to actually get to things, but this is a Nintendo podcast here, okay? Nintendo was nominated for several awards, a lot of them, and they actually lost a good amount, but they also did win some, and I'm very excited about one of them. So, the three biggest, I would say the three biggest Nintendo games from this year did win awards, but here's the kicker, and I'll tell you what awards they won and what games won them. The game of the year, Tears of the Kingdom and Mario Wonder did not win game of the year. It was Baldur's Gate 3 who pretty much won, like everything else. If it wasn't freaking Nintendo winning an award or Alan Wake, it was Baldur's Gate 3. You couldn't turn on the Game Awards and not hear Baldur's Gate 3 every 5 minutes. It was insane, but deservedly so. I haven't played the game, but I hear it's phenomenal, so I guess, once again, deservedly so. The game sounds great, it looks high quality, win awards, sure. But here is what Nintendo won, okay? Best action/adventure game, Nintendo won with The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. That was just obvious. Like, even the guy reading it said, no surprise here. Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. This was no surprise. It was obvious. This game, action, adventure, you can't really give it to anybody else. Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is a wild ride. Best family game. This was one of, I think, the first award announced. Best family game. Nintendo was easily going to win. I believe that all the nominees were Mario Wonder, Party Animals, Disney Illusion Island, Pikmin 4, and something else. I don't know how Pikmin 4 is a family game. That's a game that you play with your sibling and like yell at each other. That's not a family game. Mario Bros. Wonder won Best Family Game, if you couldn't guess. And then Pikmin 4 ain't a freaking family game, but it is a best sim/strategy game. Pikmin 4 won Best Sim/strategy game. And that is deservedly so. Pikmin 4 was my favorite game of this year. And it deserves it. When I heard that Pikmin 4 won the award, I didn't have much of a reaction because I was alone. Like, what am I going to do? Blow party poppers? But my hands did go straight up. Like, yes, Pikmin 4 won. I shouldn't say we. I had nothing to do with it. Well, I did vote. I voted for Pikmin 4 like 5 times. Pikmin 4 won. Now, that's all good and jolly and fun for Nintendo. We have the Game Awards stuff. That's always fun, right? That's pretty cool. What did I think of the Game Awards? I thought it was cool. I did get caught up because the Game Awards conflicted. So the Game Awards began at 7:30. The Pittsburgh Steelers were playing at 8:15. So I'm like, which one am I going to watch? And then I realized one of those TV broadcasts was more audio focused and one is more video focused. Can you guess which one's which? You gotta watch the football game and listen to the Game Awards. So that's what I did, all while doing a Christmas puzzle. And I was watching the Game Awards, and I liked the Game Awards. The only problem is, like, if you couldn't tell, the fact that I run a Nintendo podcast should tell you that I am pretty much, and I probably will be this way for a long time, like years. I'm in my Nintendo phase zone thing. Now, this podcast will probably never become a full-on gaming everything podcast. At least that's not in my future, I don't think, unless like Nintendo shuts down. However, that means that I only am playing like Nintendo games right now, or games that are on Nintendo platforms. Like, I don't make time to play Baldur's Gate 3 or Alan Wake or Spider-Man. I just don't, and that's probably a downfall of mine. I have a Steam Deck now, so I can play all the PC games that everyone's raving about, like Baldur's Gate. I'm just playing Nintendo games, and I bring that up to then say, when they're showing like these trailers for games, like, I don't know who these people are. I don't know what these trailers are about. I don't know any of this. When they announce, like, best game or, whatever it is, and it's just like games I've never heard of, it makes me care a bit less, but it's also like my fault. Like, I should know what a Baldur's Gate is. I should know what that is. I should. I just don't. So maybe that's going to be a 2024 resolution of mine. Play more mainstream games. It doesn't really help that I am a casual gamer. Casual in the sense that I play Nintendo games, that I play very chill games, that I play shovelware, things like that. It doesn't really help my case to kind of pick up and understand more mainstream games. But I do feel like I should be looking at more mainstream games. How many times have I said mainstream games in the past 5 seconds? Mainstream games. I should know them more. Otherwise, I mean, production's great. I like it. You had some cool music. Here's my only thing. Dude, there was some award for like best sound or best music. Zelda should win that. Dude, the fact I saw multiple people in the Game Awards chat be like, dude, do you... Okay. So when Tears of the Kingdom won Best Action Adventure Game, they played the main theme of the game. Dude, that theme is one of the greatest main themes I've ever heard in my life. And that didn't win Best, sound or Best Music. That's insane. Dude, that main theme for Zelda Tears of the Kingdom will be forever nostalgic to me. It's already nostalgic. I have nostalgia of me going to freaking GameStop at midnight when the game released and hearing that theme that entire day, because I was curious to see like what the quote unquote main theme was, and I found it on YouTube, and I was like, man, that's pretty cool. Like, I would listen to that theme the entire day, and that's already nostalgic. That game should have won best sound and best music or whatever. I think it was best sound. Other than that, it was fun. Every single year we get Game Awards. I'm looking forward to the next one. We don't even know what games will be in there, but I am looking forward to it. And that's my thoughts on the Game Awards. Comment down below what Nintendo game got robbed. If you're on a platform that can take comments, like Spotify can, and YouTube obviously can. Comment down below what got robbed. Like, if if you think that Pikmin 4 was robbed of best family game, not only are you wrong, but comment that. I want to hear that. Sorry, not to say that you're wrong. It's not a family game. That's a one-person adventure, and then you bring in your friend to play the Dandori mode, and that's where the multiplayer happens. That's not a family game. Other than that, that's what I think. Now it is time for the People's segment, the one where we answer your questions. You all have asked me questions to answer. Let's go ahead. Let's get into the spicy debates, the hot topics, the questions you have for me. Let's go. Alright guys, it's the People segment. The segment where we answer your questions. Now, if you want to ask me a question on this podcast, it's very simple and also very, very free. There are two ways to do so. One, every single Wednesday at around 12 p.m., times can vary, on my YouTube community tab, I post a post saying, hey, hope that all is well. Ask me a question on episode 67. This episode airs this day, which happens to be a Saturday. And comment down below your questions. The YouTube community tab is, go to my YouTube channel and then scroll where it says home, videos, playlist, scroll, and you'll see the community tab. Or it'll pop up on your YouTube homepage if you scroll a little bit. I don't know. You gotta see. Other than that, if you don't want to wait until next Wednesday, you're like, man, I don't want to wait. You can do this. You can join my Discord server, link down in the description. Join the Discord server. And you can ask questions in a channel in my Discord server called Ask M Swizzle. You can ask questions all in there. Type it in, and I'll pull some questions that I like. I actually have someone who does it. But if you are not getting your question answered, you're like, man, it's not getting answered. I'm commenting. It's not happening. You can become a channel member, which supports the channel monetarily. It's very, very similar to a Patreon, but it's integrated with YouTube. You can become a Patreon or a YouTube member, it's called, is what I do. And you can receive awesome perks. If you go to the highest tier, I send you a physical newsletter with my autograph. If you go to the lowest tier, you still get emojis. Guys, my lowest tier is $1.99. It's stacked. You get special emojis to use. You get bonus podcast episodes. You get members-only streams, live streams, where I play, like, Fall Guys with you. You get freaking... What else do you get? You get... There's some other cool thing that you get. Let's check, because you all are now interested. You get shout-outs at the end of every podcast on the screen in the outro. You get priority questions. If you go up one tier, you get early access to these podcasts, which is only, like, a few hours early because it's a timely podcast. You get behind-the-scenes stuff. If you go up one more, I follow you on social media, guys. Channel members. Link down below to look into all of that. Even if you just do it like for 1 month, that is, I think, 4 guaranteed questions that you can ask me for the low price of $1.99. And also 2 bonus podcasts and 2 member streams. You can't lose. For $1.99 a month, you'd be crazy. If you can afford it, try it out. Not trying to sell you too hard, but it's insane what I give to that like lower tier. All right, let's go with questions. Our first question: none of the channel members actually ask questions, so they aren't exercising their membership perks. So maybe you can be one to do that. We have X Ganon Main who asks: do you think that if we get a Tomodachi Life sequel, Nintendo will use those characters from Nintendo Switch Sports instead of Mii's? In parentheses, hopefully not. So, that'll suck if we do get a Tomodachi Life port, which, for those who don't know, is a Mii-based game on the 3DS. If we were to get a sequel or a port, should they use these Switch Sports characters? No. Do I think that they will? That's a great question. I don't think so. Oh, but I was just going to say because the Mii's are too iconic, but then at that point, with that logic, why would they use them in Switch Sports? Man. Do I think that they will? I think no. I think that you can mess up Switch Sports like that. Like, you can add those guys in there just for no reason. But I think because the Tomodachi Life series is a bit younger, and it's a bit more pure, like with the Miis and stuff. I think that they'll keep it to Miis only, especially because like with Miitopia, when Miitopia was made, they probably knew that they were creating Switch Sports. Like Switch Sports was probably in development at the same time that Miitopia was being made for the Switch, not like for the 3DS, for the Switch. Miitopia was released in 2021. Wait, yeah, and then Switch Sports was released in 2022. So the times of development probably were similar. So they probably knew that they were making new characters for Switch Sports and not adding those new characters to Miitopia. I think that they'll keep the game pretty pure, I think that they'll keep the Miis where the Miis are supposed to be, and they also just added those characters. So my final answer is I think no, they will not use those stupid characters. Dodge Bros YT says, or asks, "Hey Max, I want to hear your opinion on why people think the 2DS is better than the 3DS. Thank you. Keep up the good work." Guys, people think that I only pick the questions that say keep up the good work. That's not true. It just happens to be. I don't know. Thank you, though. I appreciate it. Opinion on why people think that the 2DS is better than 3DS. Now, here's the difference between you asking me this and you asking somebody else. 1 second. There it is. Wait. I own a 2DS. This is real. This is a dusty Legend of Zelda 2DS. Now, give me 5 seconds to put it back in my drawer. My drawer is so cluttered. Anyway, I own a 2DS. I can speak firsthand. The reason why, and I don't actually prefer it over a 3DS, I said that for a while, but I find out that's not true. The reason why some like it better is just because it's more comfortable. So when you hold a 2DS, obviously it doesn't fold, and we're speaking about we're speaking normal 2DS, not 2DS XL. When you hold a normal 2DS, it's fat. It doesn't fold because it's just like one device. It's more comfortable. It's comfortable to hold because it's taller. Whereas if you hold a 3DS, you're normally only holding the bottom half of the 3DS. So your hands are a bit more cramped than they would be on a normal 2DS, not a 2DS XL. So that for some people is a bit more comfortable, and I had felt that way for a while once again, but I actually don't end up agreeing with that. I think that the 3DS, is fine, but that is why some people, including past me, like the 2DS better. Apart from that, it doesn't really do much that the 3DS doesn't. The base 2DS and the base 3DS are the exact same thing, just one doesn't fold. Same screen size, same everything. I shouldn't say exact same thing because they are not the exact same thing, but same screen size, same performance, things like that. It's mainly just for comfort. Thank you for your question. Jimmy Neutron. Snap! I did not think that Jimmy Neutron was gonna ask me a question. Jimmy Neutron asks, "Do you think the 3DS is still worth it since it can play DS games?" I think that the 3DS is gonna be worth it for the next 30 years. I'm not even kidding. I think it's gonna be worth it for a while. The only way that it becomes not worth it is if pretty much every good 3DS game came to, the next console as a virtual console game. So like how the NES games are now. If the 3DS became that, it wouldn't be worth it. It's 2023. I don't own a NES despite being a big Nintendo fan. I don't own one. Reason being, I can play pretty much most NES games on the Switch. In 30 years, if the 3DS becomes that, don't buy one. Just play it all on the future console, whatever it is. That's the only way that it doesn't become worth it. But because it can play 3DS, DS games, I was gonna say virtual console, but the eShop shut down. Because it plays all those games, for sure worth it. And the best native device to play those games. I say native because you can emulate games, but the best native device is the 3DS to play DS and 3DS, obviously. Then Joseph asks, guys, I saw this question, and I have someone who picks out questions. I saw this one, and I said, hey, while you're grabbing questions for me to answer, put this one on there. Do you think that Animal Crossing New Leaf is better than New Horizons? And if so, why? If you're a longtime watcher of the podcast, you know I've answered this question like 3 times on different podcasts. I think it's a good question because not only, like, if you know me, I'm the biggest Animal Crossing fan that you might meet, apart from maybe you. So I feel that New Leaf, what I say is that New Leaf is better than New Horizons. That's what I say. But my opinion has changed in the past. Therefore, this is a good thing to debate every 10 episodes or so. Is New Leaf better than New Horizons? My answer, as of episode 67, is yes. Overall, yes. Obviously, Max, you can't terraform in New Leaf. Max, you can't place furniture outside in New Leaf. I'm not saying, credit to New Horizons. And I love New Horizons. Favorite Switch game of all time. I've put 2,000 hours into it. The only thing is New Leaf just had a better system, a better multiplayer experience, what New Horizons lacks, New Leaf did perfect. Multiplayer runs, in my experience, I don't think I've ever had one communication error when playing Animal Crossing New Leaf online. Never once. Whereas with New Horizons, if somebody makes the wrong move, it's the whole thing's ruined. The whole Switch explodes. But seriously, if somebody accidentally puts their Switch in sleep mode, you have to sit through a 3-minute loading screen on New Horizons. New Leaf, I've never even had it happen. I don't know what happens. I've never had it happen. So New Leaf did multiplayer great. New Leaf did buildings great. We only have 3 buildings: Resident Services, Nook's Cranny, and Able Sisters, and the museum in New Horizons. New Leaf had the entire main street where there were 7-8 stores on there. You had retail, you had the Roost, you had Town Hall, you had everything there. New Leaf did buildings right. New Leaf did the NPCs correctly. Cap'n would take you to a mini game island where if you're bored, you can go play some mini games. I don't know why that's not in New Horizons. You can go play those mini games with people online as well. You can, they have, this is a very small nitpick. Do you know how they have the Switch item in New Horizons? They have the 3DS and Wii U items in New Leaf, and you can actually interact and play a minigame on those consoles in New Leaf. New Horizons doesn't have that. There's just so many better things that New Leaf did than New Horizons. Obviously, New Horizons has the credit for terraforming, has credit for furniture outside, has credit for the new graphics. But New Leaf just did what New Horizons... Hold on. How do you word this? What New Horizons lacked, New Leaf did phenomenally. Didn't just have what New Horizons lacked, but did it so well. Music's better. Some various aspects are better. All in all, I conclude Animal Crossing New Leaf as my favorite game of all time, Animal Crossing or not, and better than Animal Crossing New Horizons. That's what I think. I've been playing a bunch of New Leaf, every single day almost, for the past week. Because it's Toy Day is coming up, it's fun. Alright, now we move on. New Leaf is the answer. Alex asks, what's your favorite Wii game? So my favorite Wii game is Animal Crossing City Folk. Oh, surprise, surprise! The diehard Animal Crossing fan has freaking Animal Crossing as his favorite Wii game. Who would have saw that coming? It's a phenomenal game. I've been playing some City Folk as well a lot recently. City Folk and New Leaf are great games. If you want me to actually rank Animal Crossing games, I've done it before and it hasn't changed. New Leaf at the top, then New Horizons, then City Folk, then out of the mainline games, City Folk, GameCube, and then Wild World. Wild World, dude. If Animal Crossing Wild World is your favorite Animal Crossing game, I'm sorry to break it to you. It's just nostalgia. It's just nostalgia. Now I'll tell you, that game is fun. You can do the little constellations and stuff. Animal Crossing City Folk is simply Wild World Deluxe. Just have that be your favorite game. If you like Wild World, it's because, oh yeah, I went on a camping trip and I took my DS and I was playing with the local camper. Shut up. It's nostalgia. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be mean. It's just freaking nostalgia. I'm so sorry. The game sucks. I'm sorry. I make that a clip. Someone clip that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The game is not good. I am sorry. Let's move on. So, sorry. My favorite Wii game is Animal Crossing New Leaf. My second favorite, I was actually thinking about making a YouTube short about because it's so odd. If you want that, let me know. We have two more. M Swizzle Enthusiast number 2. There's 2 of you? What the heck? Okay. W name, by the way, in my Discord server. If you had to pick three Nintendo games, can't even talk around here, guys. Catch the breath. And can only play those games, what would they be? These can be from any generation and any console. So you might think that my answer would be, my top 3 games of all time, right? But it's actually not going to be that. It's going to be the games that can last me the longest if I can only play them. Like games I can play over and over again. You can only play a game like New Super Mario Bros. Wii like 3 times at the most before it gets predictable and repetitive. I mean, it'll get predictable after 1 play. So you can't play that for very long. And if you did play it 3 times, that would be like a 28-hour gaming session. That's a long time, but for the rest of my life, no. So realistically, here's what I would pick. Animal Crossing New Horizons, and you might say, why not New Leaf? Yeah, I think that New Leaf is better, but New Horizons, there's more to do, I would say, so that would last me longer. I've already put 2,000 hours into that game. There's unlimited possibilities. I would say Animal Crossing New Horizons. I would say, Stardew Valley, Animal Crossing New Horizons, and maybe like a fun game. Maybe a fun game that you can play over and over, but doesn't have an end goal. Here, I would say Clubhouse Games, 52 Worldwide Classics. That game's sick. If you haven't played Clubhouse Games, guys, buy it right now. It's a bunch of mini games like checkers, chess, robots, boxing. It's a bunch of tiny games, and they're all in this one game called Clubhouse Games. They have the cutest sound effects, the cutest graphics. Buy it. I think that it's made by Nintendo, or at least published by them. Check it out. It's awesome. Clubhouse Games. So yeah, New Horizons, Stardew, and Clubhouse Games would be my 3. That's a Nintendo game, right? Yeah. Can I verify that? Clubhouse Games. Oh, it's 51. I said 52 Worldwide Classics. Yeah, sorry. So it's developed by ND Cube, but published by Nintendo. So I had that right. Published by Nintendo. Cool beans. And then our final question. Salmon asks, if you were in charge, what would you name the next Nintendo console? So I've thought about this. I would simply name it something futuristic. It's a pretty oddball when you're naming a console. PlayStation has it figured out. They can do PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4, PS5. They have, next is PS6. We know that. For any other company, it's like up in the air. For Xbox, you don't know if they're doing Xbox 360, Xbox One, Xbox Series. Nobody could have predicted what the names were going to be for any of those consoles. Nintendo is the same thing. Who would have thought the next console was called the Switch, Who would have thought the next console was the Wii? Nobody predicted the name GameCube when that was being worked on. No one, So it takes some thinking. I think that if you're Nintendo, want to pick, and they've been good at this for the most part. In my opinion, you want to pick a 1-syllable word, because that it can be said easily. PlayStation 5 and Switch are different lengths. Now, that doesn't mean that your console will be massively more successful. I think it's just neater. Like Wii. Like, it was so easy to just say Wii. And so someone's gonna like nitpick, Max, it's not even hard to say PlayStation. That was easy to say. I'm just like, it just sounds better, or like sounds cleaner or something when I say Wii or Switch or, whatever it is. I don't know. I guess to me, it just sound. I shouldn't say sounds easier. It just sounds better to me. I would say, I don't know. They can name it whatever they want. Here's the thing. They're probably going to name it according to what it is. So, like, for the DS, that means, like, dual screen. The Switch means that you can switch. Without knowing the function of the next console, just general name, I'm going to say the Nintendo, and I said it in a video, I'm going to say the Nintendo Neo. The Nintendo Neo. Here's why. It sounds nice. It sounds futuristic. It sounds clean. Is that one syllable? Neo or Neo? Neo. I don't know. I think that it sounds good. Guys, are we buying the Nintendo Neo? I will. I don't know. That's what I think. But, like, above everything, name it something that has to do with the console itself. If it switches, call it the Switch. If it has dual screen switching, call it the DSS, the dual screen Switch. Like whatever you have to do, name it accordingly. Name it accordingly. With that said, that is it for the Mario Matter episode number 67. Thank you all so much for tuning in, for liking the podcast, for subscribing to the YouTube channel, for leaving us a positive review on whatever podcast service you're listening on. I don't believe that YouTube can do that, but Apple Podcasts, Spotify, we appreciate it and we love you. I'll be back next Saturday, the 16th, for some more Nintendo news, and don't expect it next Saturday, but I do want to get another guest on eventually, because okay, so now that you've watched the entire show, it's clear that you aren't going to turn this off right now. Let's just talk. It's clear that this podcast, every time that it gets posted to YouTube, is hovering around like the 2,000 to 6,000 view range. I figure that we need to do podcasts that you cannot get anywhere else. So if I bring on your favorite, Nintendo YouTuber, you can't get that anywhere else. So I'm gonna probably do this show with a guest moving forward, and I have done one. Shout out to Botox Games, the one and only ever guest on this podcast. Here's the thing. I am expecting episodes to flop. I might have to start out with a few smaller guests. I've made smaller friends in the Nintendo community. I'm going to reach out to a bunch of bigger ones, though. But I might have to start out with like a few smaller guests and like work my way up. If I can, I'm going to go for some straight shooters and get like the biggest people first, if I can. But otherwise, I do want to have guests on. And whoever I have on will be somehow related to Nintendo, whether they make content on it, whether they are a game developer, not totally for Nintendo, because I'm not sure that they would ever let their developers do podcasts, but just like some sort of something interesting, somebody that you would care for, somebody that you would want to click on, or some story that they have that is worth sharing on this podcast. And they wouldn't be interview style, because here's the thing. If you have somebody on your podcast, it's most often an interview. I want to talk about news with them and get the news side of them. Like if I had, hypothetically, if I had Scott the Waz on, Scott doesn't really talk about news. You would get that here though, and then also some more. And we would, do questions with Scott. Things like that. You don't get that anywhere else, So we could have it be somewhat interview based, where like we talk about things like, you know, as if we would talk about things that we would talk about if I was interviewing him. But it'd be more so a conversation, talking about the latest news of Nintendo, talking about this topic, that topic, whatever the heck it is. And then you all would ask him questions the same way that you all ask me questions, you know? Things like that. And I would announce who is coming on when I ask the questions, so you will know. So don't expect guests in the next few shows. But I'm going to reach out to some people, see what you know, responses I get, and then go off of that. But thank you all so much, and comment down below if you are still here. Comment down below, not only comment down below Kool-Aid, okay, and also comment who you want to see on the show. Name a YouTuber, name a type of person, like get a game developer on or something like that. Do that, and I'll see you all when I see you all next Saturday. Otherwise, we have YouTube Shorts being posted every other day. It's not daily right now because I'm trying to like bank up videos so then I can have a giant vault of them. But I'll be back to doing daily shorts soon. I'll see you all soon. I love you all. See ya. Adios.